I'm a mom. I have two really rambunctious children. One is 5 and one is 7. So I have one in pre-K and I have one in first grade. I work 40 plus hours a week, and my husband works a business from home. And even though my husband is home, he is very busy. So some of the things that I do, well, a lot of the stuff that I do is coming from the book, The Miracle Morning. That really changed my time management skills. I've been waking up earlier in the morning, and I actually do 2 power hours. So I wake up about 5:15, I'm doing in the morning, and I get my workout done, and I do a little bit of reading in the morning as part of my power hour. And then I try to relax, and I haven't done like affirmations or anything like that he talks about in the book, but I try to just calm my body and relax to prepare for the day. And then my second power hour is after my children go to bed at 8 o'clock. That's when I do primarily a lot of my reading for personal development. Let's talk about like food and how I manage things that are not part of personal development and everything. Sundays, I do my meal prep, of course. And I find that to really help with saving time throughout the week. If you're just boiling a dozen of eggs or you're grilling chicken, something that you can be quickly putting together throughout the week can save you a lot of time, especially when you have children that are fighting for your time when you're coming home from work at 6 p.m. And I'm gone at like 6:30 in the morning, so I'm gone a lot. And I've found like crock pot recipes to be a lifesaver too. And something that I've actually been researching recently is these freezer crock pot meals. Apparently you meal prep for like an hour on a Sunday. You put all the ingredients into a freezer bag, and then you put them in the freezer, you grab them, you thaw them, you throw them in the crock pot, and boom, you're done. Which that saves a lot of time for when you're coming home from work. And I feel like I'm talking very fast. So throughout the day when I'm working, well, I'm going to walk you through my day. So in the morning, once I'm done with my workout and I'm getting ready to go, if I don't have my youngest daughter in the car, I like to do personal development also in the car because I have about a 20-minute drive in the morning. So instead of just listening to music, it's better to listen to a book. And I tend to do a book that I've already read because they say that to actually gain all the knowledge out of the book, you have to read it more than once. So I like to underline things in books for upcoming posts that I might be doing on my like page. And then I listen to the book in the car for the second time. So I actually just listened to The Miracle Morning here again for my personal development for in the car. And I noticed that you start to remember a lot more things, and then you can also go back to the book. If there's something that you have missed that you can underline, and it's like if the light bulb comes on, you're like, oh, I got to go ahead and I have to underline that. So I have this large Disney bag, and my life is literally in that bag. So I keep 1 or 2 books in there because if I do have spare time at work, I'll also read at work too. And I actually keep a notepad, and throughout the day, if there's anything that comes to mind that I think might be a good topic that I want to talk about, or something that I want to research in the future, I go ahead and I write it in my notepad, and then I have that for later when I actually have a little bit more time that I can devote to it. And over lunch, I'll do a little bit of, I feel like I do personal development a lot. Over lunch, I'll do personal development too. instead of just sitting in the lunchroom and talking about people or stuff like that people do at work in the lunchroom. I'll listen to things also at work, YouTube videos, anything that's personal development related, I'll do over lunch break. And then, or I'll even go out into the car and I'll read a little bit. So let's see, what else am I going to say? I'm going way too fast. So let's see. When I get home, I primarily already have dinner ready. And then I devote my time to relaxing with the kids. I will check in with my challenge groups in the morning and also in the afternoon. I'm noticing that I pay a little bit too much attention, I feel, to that sometimes during the day, and that takes away from other things that I should be doing. So I want to, in the future, try to just devote checking in with them either in the morning or in the afternoon. But I think one thing that helps with time management is setting like little goals for yourself. If you know that you need to have something done by the end of the week, just like spread out the time that you think that you need to be working on that per day. So like I have a short-term goal right now. I'm working on videos for my like page, and I had to have 10 videos done to set out split testing. So I was trying to do at least a minimum of 2 videos a day for the 5 days so that I had those done for the weekend so that I can do my split testing. So setting short-term goals for yourself will help you with your time management also, because it kind of like lights the fire under your butt to get you going. Because if you're like me, you wait till the last minute sometimes to get things done. So it's better to have a short-term goal than a long-term goal, because if you set yourself to have, oh, I don't have to do that I have 3 weeks to get that done, I would be then the person who's doing it in the last week. So I try to do it more of a week-to-week short-term goal now. And then let's see, what else do I have to say? I'm freezing up. Let's see, give me a moment. I really find having the power hours 2 hours a day has been helping a lot. I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm finding that to be more helpful too and paying more attention to my business. I think I watch like maybe 2 hours of TV a week, and it's only shows that I feel that are really like I want to watch them. It's more of a time where I get to relax with my husband and de-stress with him. On the weekends is when I primarily do a lot of my posts for the week. Saturdays and Sundays, if you ever have seen any of my posts on my like page, I tend to blast a lot on Saturdays and Sundays because a lot of the stuff I have more time on the weekends since I'm not at work. But what I like about the phone and a like page with time management is that if you're like sitting in the park and something comes to you and you're like, oh, that would be an awesome post, you can go ahead and write it like you're going to do a post. But if you feel like that moment is not the right moment to be doing a post, you can write the post and save it for the future. Or if you don't have a photo that goes very well with that post, I do that a lot. I save a lot of my posts. So then if I feel like the moment is right, or if I'm like crunched for time, I'm like, oh, I really haven't posted anything today, I will go through all my saved posts and see which one would be more appropriate for that day. And boom, it's done. And then, oh, hold on. Might be able to see me better. There we go. So I find that really helpful also with time management, because there's then a whole list of posts that I have made that I can use for the future. I like to also go in and plan my posts. So I'll also do those on the weekends. I'm very productive on the weekends because that's when I have the most time. So I'll go through and I find a lot of recipes off of the Beachbody blog, and I will put them on my like page, and you can schedule them for whenever you would like to do them. So you can do it if you want to do every day at noon, Monday through Friday. You can go ahead, and the iPhone makes it really easy because you can save the photo that the blog has. And then I put my recipe with it, and then it only takes like maybe 5 minutes. You have recipes for Monday through Friday because Beachbody, they have all the recipes there for you. It's mostly just copy and pasting and copying the photo. I try to do a very simple post in the morning, a recipe for lunch, and then I put a more in-depth post in the afternoon. So primarily, mostly, I'm doing that all on a Sunday, preparing for the whole week. So I try not to have too much that I have to do during the week because I work so many varied hours, and I want to spend as much time as I can with my family. So I know I ran really quick.
No, that's fine. And, just for everyone, you don't have to fill up the entire hour with whatever you're, leading, right? I mean, you're just starting the discussion, right? So if you talk for 15 minutes, that's cool,
Okay.
And, then we can ask questions of other people to share what they're doing, right? Or they can ask you more questions about what you're doing. So, do we have anybody that has questions for Crystal before we get other people to share what they're doing?
Yeah. Hey, Crystal, when you post your recipes, do you post links or do you actually copy and paste the text of the whole recipe in your post?
No, so I don't post the links. In the training that I'm in now, they're trying to tell us not to do the links wise, because then we're sending them out into Beachbody land. So I literally, like on the iPhone, it's so nice because I can go into the blog. I find a recipe like for chili, and then I go and I copy all the instructions and the ingredients, and they also have the containers there too. So I put that up for the people who are actually following the container system. And then with the phone, all you do is you push down on the photo and it saves it for you. So it's so simple. Like it's just a swipe to save what I want that they have written. I go ahead, I post it, and then I put the picture, and then I'll put it for like Monday at noon, and boom, it's done. And then I find another recipe, and then I do the same thing. The recipes are super, super easy and quick, and it's very nice because you can have like a whole week's worth of stuff, recipes for your followers.
And you get some good reaction to your recipes?
I actually get a lot more for my recipes than some of the other stuff. So people like the recipes. And if I'm not finding a whole lot on the blog that I like if I've exhausted the blog, and I will repeat recipes, I will go into Pinterest and I'll find things that look to be very simple, because people don't like really complex meals. That's not good for time. So I'll find meals that are a little bit more simpler. Now that's when I will put a link, because I'm giving those the website that has created that recipe credit.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing that with Beachbody, but I don't. I don't give them credit. But for
I wouldn't either.
Okay, you don't either. Okay, but for anybody who it's not Beachbody related at all, I give them credit for it.
That's good.
I like how you have the light shining on you. That's a great tip for everyone. You know, if you're doing videos, make sure you have a light that's shining on your face. So how is your training going, Crystal, with Jesse?
I'm really liking the training. I really do.
Is it helping your like page organic reach?
Yes. So let me take a look at even what today. I think I've gotten 8 page likes in the last like hour. Let me go. And I know they tell us not to really check on it, which is addictive. I have 9 ads going at the moment. I just started the ads around 8 o'clock, so it's been about an hour and a half. And in an hour and a half, come on. In an hour and a half, I have 8 page likes, and it has only cost me, it's cost me about $7, but it's all on finding the right ad that will attract the people that you want to come to your like page. Now, before I was doing like, how was it? Like you went in and you were trying to just get likes. I was paying a lot of money for that. So for me, for eight likes for $7 is really good. I was getting like 1 like and spending $3 how I was doing it before.
But ideally you want to narrow it down to like 10 cents a like or something, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's, and right now my best ad is about 25 cents a like, but I just started. That's why he tells you not to look at it.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's addicting.
So you're just running I don't mean to get off topic, but you're just running the 9 ads so that you can find the one that works. Is that what you're doing? Okay.
Yeah. And I know it's off topic, but what's interesting about it is that this is going out to Beachbody, which blew my mind that you put it out to be. So instead of narrowing it down to your niche at first, you send it out to the Beachbody trainers. So anybody, you could pick Shanti, or you could pick Tony. You pick those people first to send out your ads, because those people like fitness. So if they feel that that is a good ad, then it'll be a good ad that you can then use in the future to go out to your targeted niche. So before, I was trying to go after my niche, but it was the wrong way that I was doing it. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I've got ads running too, and I'd only did 5 at a time instead of the 10, and I have 24 likes for $4. Oh, I'm blown away, and it hasn't even been running 24 hours. Wow, yeah. I love that training too. And I'm doing Shailene and Autumn. So, but we're targeting people that like Shailene and Autumn. That's what we're doing. So.
Interesting. Okay. So back to time management. A couple tips that I had when I was working a full-time job. It was kind of, I think Crystal mentioned it as well, but I took advantage of the drive time, right? So if you have a commute, what I would do is I would make sure I had like a 45-minute to an hour commute one way to work and then an hour back. So I would typically listen to a podcast or to an audiobook on one of the trips. And then on the trip home, typically, I would make sure that I had somebody to talk to, okay? So it was either a prospect for coaching, it was either, or a customer, or potential customer, or a coach that I already had to do a mentorship. And I would do that every single day, so 5 days a week. So, you might not have coaches right now, but, as you build up coaches, you want to stay in contact with them. So, it would give me an excuse that, it's like I made it a point to, I had to book at least 5 phone calls, during the week. Okay. So there was that, and then there was the personal development. And the phone calls may not have lasted an hour, right? The phone call may have only lasted 15 minutes, and then the rest of the time I would just listen to personal development or whatever, right? But that was a good tip for me. And then obviously the Drivetime University, right? Getting podcasts or audio like Audible set up on your phone so that you can hook into Bluetooth or audio cable and listen to that on the way home. Or you can even do YouTube, if you have data, a lot of data, you can just go to YouTube and pick stuff from there and listen to it. So who else has tips that work for you for time management? Things that you do. Something else that I would do. What's that?
I do time blocking.
Okay.
And I do, I have set goals for how many things I want done on a weekly basis. So that, say I want to write 2 blog posts a week and I want to contact, I'm actually using a coach's formula that she did with how many people you need to reach out to that it will equal $2,000 a month. I don't know if you've seen that. It's kind of an older video, but she has a whole YouTube video on how much it takes to make $1,000 a week, how much it takes to make $2,000 a week. She's got it all down there. So that's Sarah Try is her name. But I've got a weekly goal of how many contacts I want to make and how many blog posts I want to write and how many posts I want to do. And I'll sit down for a certain amount of time and work on only one thing. Like I'll work on designing Facebook posts for that amount of time. And the next power hour, I'll do all of my invites. So I'm kind of not wasting time because I'm just copying and pasting and doing, I'm in the same mentality to get something done instead of doing 10 minutes of one thing and 10 minutes of something else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do is time blocks, and then, which I'm full time, so I can do multiple time blocks a day. But I suggest to someone that isn't, that maybe if you have 2 separate times, that you have a different day for a different thing, so that you're concentrating on just that one thing. And I also set up a timer where so that I can stay focused. I put in headphones because I have a really loud house. So I put on headphones and listen to music, and I stay focused on that one thing until my timer goes off, and then I can, go on something else. So
that's a great, that's kind of the way I work too. It's even when I worked full time, I mean, I would always do things in blocks, right? And I don't work well where I have to, switch up, like do partially this task and then switch up to another task. That just drives me nuts, right? I won't be able to sleep at night. But I have to get a task done, so I'll set a block, like you said, and work on it. But it's typically like I knew how long things would take. So like you said, write a blog or do something that takes longer. I would save that to the weekends, right? I wouldn't try to tackle that block during the week. I would save it to Saturday morning or whatever. And however long it took me, that was my block, right? I mean, if I had to spend 5 hours to write one blog, that's what I would do. But, that was because I just have to get it done, whatever it takes. But of course you get better at it, and you force yourself to get better at it and do it. Like Shalene says, if you want things to be perfect and you keep working on something like a blog or a Facebook, like page or whatever, and if it has to be perfect, you're never going to get it done. So for me, it's always more important to get stuff done. So I don't care if it's perfect, just as long as it's done, All right. Who else has something? John, what do you do? We'll pick on you since you're here.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I kind of do the time blocking too, like you said, and I've got two pretty active groups with probably 100 people total during the day, and I've got to fight from staying in the groups all day because I can be at my computer all day if I wanted to, and I've got to fight from responding to every notification, answering every question. So I have to close Facebook. I got to close my challenge tracker app during the day in order to get the tasks done that I want to get done that day. So, if you find yourself running some very active groups with a lot of participants, don't feel that you have to be there all day, responding to questions as soon as they pop up. That's the glory of the groups. Let other group members take a shot at answering questions for you, and then, double back later and check on things later in the day. So, that's one of the big things that I'm continually fighting, so I got to shut that stuff off.
That's a great tip, John. And I had to do the same thing when I went full time, because literally I will get hundreds of messages, Facebook messages, Messenger messages a day, from groups that I'm in or coaches or customers. And I had to turn off the little notification that, would pop up the chat windows. So I turn that off, and I turn off that it looks like I'm online. So I turn that off so coaches don't think that I'm online. So even if I see their messages and don't respond to them right away, they won't be insulted or whatever, right? So yeah, I just let all the messages pile up while I, am in that mode that I've got to get this thing done, or I've got to send out these 25 invite messages, or these, I've got to follow up with these 50 people who are in my free group. I will go down and I will, do all my follow-ups before I go back and I check, my 20 messages that have piled up that people are messaging me questions or whatever. Right.
Right.
So that's a good tip. Who else? Yeah, I see we have two Johns. John, the other John, did you want to talk, say a tip?
As far as time management goes, not that I do this a lot, but I found, because I get up at 5 to work out, so normally from 5 to 6 I work out, and I have to leave around 6:45 for work. So for me, a lot of times I kind of cheat and do mine the day before. So I'm always a day behind if you think about it. Like my workout, so I did my workout today and I have it all collaged up and ready to go. So I'll actually post it tomorrow morning before I leave for work. And tomorrow's workout will actually be for Wednesday. So same way with my shake. Like I mix up my shake the night before. I take all my pictures. So everything's ready to go. Like as soon as I get out of the shower, like I have about 10 or 15 minutes before I leave for work. So I kind of cheat that way. And a lot of times people, whenever they see me throughout the day, or they'll message me and they're like, how are you so happy at 6 o'clock in the morning? And I am a morning person, but I'm obviously not that happy. So I have to laugh because I'm like, well, I took it at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, my pictures. So that's one thing I do to generally stay ahead of the game. But you really have to track it because I'm constantly looking to see what the workout was the day before, the workout tomorrow. So you don't want to make any mistakes as far as your post.
That's a great idea. Also, I was thinking of scheduling your time, like blocking your time. There's has anybody here heard of Craig Holiday? John, have you heard of Craig Holiday? He is a Beachbody consultant that was around, that Beachbody hired. He was actually, they brought him in as a MLM expert, right? He actually made millions of dollars with Amway, and he was a consultant at Beachbody when I first started. And he would do like mentor calls and training, national wake up calls and stuff like that. But he had a call on time management, and actually I have his series of calls I think it's like 8 to 10 calls. So if you guys want to listen to him, he's an amazing speaker, for you guys that have that commute or is looking for that personal development. I listen to his calls. I think I've listened to his calls like twice or maybe 3 times, and literally they're amazing, and they stuck with me. It's like, he's like Jim Rohn, right? If you guys have heard Jim Rohn, he's like Jim Rohn, right? So it's like, if you listen to him, he's going to change your world, and I'll share the link. I have them all on Dropbox. I saved them because when he left Beachbody, they took all of his recordings down. But I kept them, so I still have them. He's also on YouTube, so you can find him on YouTube. But I'll share them, and you guys can listen to him. But anyway, he has one call on time management, and I remember one of the things that he talked about, and I haven't listened to him in 5 years, but he talked about when you block your time, when you schedule your time, make sure you schedule your family time, your work time, your Beachbody time. And he said, don't mix your times. So if you're in family time, don't be on the phone messaging people about Beachbody, right? Like if you're, at work, be at work, don't be sneaking and doing Beachbody when you're at work, right? But when you're in Beachbody time, you need to let your family know, that they buy into that schedule, right? So like Jill, she's got somebody behind him that's like, messing with her Beachbody time, and he's just got to go. I'm just kidding. What you got to let your family know when you're in Beachbody time that, that's kind of off limits, right? You go into your office, you shut the door, your spouse needs to take care of the kids during that hour so that you can get your work done, right? And then you can have that family time where you can devote, 100% to that family time. So anyway, that was in one of his talks, but I will share that link with you guys and listen to it this week if you can. We'll talk about it next week, but they were really good calls. All right, who has something else?
Hey, I'm Cynthia. I'm Shauna's coach.
Hey.
Hi, I'm her new coach here. Let me see if I can get this video to work. It's gonna be kind of dark. I'm in my car. Hi.
All right, I can see you.
Hey everyone. I have a quick question. Does anybody here follow the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod? Have any of you done that for your time management in the morning?
Right. Yeah. Crystal was talking about Miracle Morning.
I got on the call kind of late. Sorry. So if she already mentioned it, I apologize.
No, but yeah, go ahead. I mean, I read it, and do you do that?
Well, I've been doing that, but I've been using it for my power hour blocks. I've been doing kind of like what Shauna said. I've been doing inviting all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing organizing my pictures and trying to add some flair to them all at one time. Organizing my videos from working out to do like pick play posts.
Yeah.
And have those organized so you can just pull them from your Dropbox or your gallery without having to sit there and take a lot of time to figure out a post.
Yeah, that's great.
That time management. The only thing I haven't figured out is how to get a good a good tracking system for all my people, because I'm a pen and paper type person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would help if anybody here has anything to share as far as like a tracking system goes.
I use Excel. I know John Tantillo uses Excel. We're Excel guys. But I could tell you what a lot of Beachbody coaches use. And, you guys may want to check this out. It's called TeamZ, TeamZY.com. They use it it's a contact management system. It was designed by Beachbody coaches for Beachbody coaches. Now, just be aware there is a monthly fee with it. I think it's a little pricey personally, but there are coaches that swear by it and they love it. There's a lot of coaches that do, especially coaches that have thousands of contacts. And, you know, it'll go through and it'll remind you of who to talk to on a daily basis. And it sets goals and it changes colors when you hit your goals and stuff like that. So you may want to check it out. You can do a free trial of it for 30 days. But I know a lot of coaches use that for contact management and follow-ups.
And what about third-party posting? Do any of you use Buffer or Postcron or Hootsuite?
Oh yeah, definitely. I use Buffer. I've used Hootsuite. I didn't like it at all. It's free, so you know it's a great one to start with. But Buffer for me is awesome. $10 a month. I used Sendable for a while. That was also $10 a month, but it had bugs and it drove me crazy. I know a lot of coaches use Postcron. They like it. So.
Is there any third-party posting app that you know of that doesn't tag all the posts?
No, I'm not aware of any.
What I do is I put them into the schedule of my like page, and then I have alarms where I just go over there, pick it up, and put it on my personal page. And because I found that Buffer and Hootsuite, they don't get seen as much. Facebook doesn't show them as much as they do if you load them yourself. Yeah,
I only use them to post in groups. I never used Buffer to post on my timeline. And if I do on my like page, I'll use the Facebook scheduler for that. So that works fine.
But that's only on our like page, right? They don't offer that on personal page?
Right, not yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But those are good tips too. All right, anything else before we wrap up, guys? All right, well, I will share the Craig Holiday calls in our chat group so you guys can all grab them there. All right. Well, thanks, Crystal. Great job.
Thanks.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, Crystal.
Thanks, Crystal.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thanks, Crystal and Greg.